All right, what's up, guys? It's your boy Floyd, aka your Negus, aka Commish of the best fantasy football league in the world. Joined with my boy, owner of Thousand Oaks Gang, Michael Wiseman. How you doing, bro?
What's up? Forgot to add second seed, first round bye into that, but it's all right. I'll let that slide because I'm feeling good being in the playoffs. Honestly, I'm willing to admit that it's my first time making the playoffs in this league, but I'm looking to make the most of it. So we'll see who I have after this week.
Yeah, sorry for the slip up, bro. I feel like I got all detracted after I got that big loss from Billy. I was like, fuck. So we're coming here late, the late post, but we got a lot of good information, a lot of good stuff to talk about. Both leagues, A League and B League, are popping. Playoffs, relegation. A lot of people. I'm done talking. Wiseman, go into the standings, buddy.
Yeah, I got you. I got you on the final standings. So claiming first place at 9-3-1 is Rusty Cunt's Trevor Wascatchel. Congratulations on your regular season title. Edged me out by a half game, but hey, you got the results you needed throughout the season, so you earned it. Of course, second is myself at 9-4, and Trevor and I will have the bye this week, so we will play the winners of the 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 seeds, which in order are 3, 8, and 5 teams: Team Butts, Kyle Butts, Evansdale Carpet Munchers, Nick Rudder, and 4 Down Territory, Mike Brobst. The tiebreaker between those three is points scored, and it looks like Butts is the top scorer in the league, so naturally he was the highest ranked out of all those 3 teams. And then the final playoff spot, the 6th seed, you've got xnxx.com/Alexis Texas, Rob Sebecki at 6-6-1. So 500 record was enough to get in at the 6th seed this season. And then he was followed by 3, 6, and 7 teams: Toledo Cheat Clappers, Billy Block, Delaney Saggy Tits, yourself, and bye week Devin Pooley. 6 and 7 in some seasons may have been enough to get you into the playoffs, but didn't happen this season. And then you've got just edging out a bottom 2 spot for relegation somehow, Mikey Martinez juices loose. And then we've got our 2 bottom teams. Would be relegated if we keep the same structure. We'll see if we have any changes for next season. But as it stands, if nothing does change, our 2 relegation teams, team gets a Black Damian Brown at 4-9, and the always unlucky this season, Ricky Grodi, the Golden Taint, at 2-11.
Yeah, that's our standings. We got Wiseman. Do you have the thing pulled up?
Yeah.
The graph.
Yep.
Why don't you talk us into what's going on with this graph over here?
All right. So I did not make this graph. It was actually Andy Miller in our B League, so shout out to him for this. I don't know what algorithm, if that's what you want to call it, he uses to generate these. But basically the way that it works is on paper it generates how many wins a team is expected to have and how many losses, and basically just without taking into effect what's actually happened. This is generally like what's supposed to happen statistically. So by the looks of it, you still have 5 of the 6 same playoff teams. Swap out, ironically enough, the number 1 seed with the bottom seed. So it is interesting always to see how lucky you get. You can see here in this column it says luck.
So it takes the points per week scored against the average for that week, or the median for that week. So if you would have played, how did your score do against everybody's score that week, not just the person you played? So per week basis, if Ricky was playing everybody in the league that week, he would have won way more than against a majority of those people. He just happened to face the wrong person on the right day. So
right, and what I'm noticing is that the way that it has it ordered, the teams that are scoring the most points are the teams that are higher up. So you have the lowest scoring team at the bottom and the highest scoring team at the top. Obviously, it doesn't go in perfect order, but it's pretty close. So generally, the more points you score in fantasy, the more wins you get. So that part makes sense. Unless you're Ricky, and it looks like he was the 5th highest scorer and finished last, which obviously you can see by the negative 5.27, which is way, way, way more unlucky than anybody else got the whole year. So, sorry, Ricky. That sucks big time.
Yeah, the next closest was so Ricky at minus 5.27. The next closest was Rob, actually. And we knew Rob's team was not performing as we'd like to. We all wish we had Rob's team. His was the next unluckiest at minus 1.82. So the next closest person was 3 times luckier than Ricky, or Ricky was 3 times more unlucky than the next person. So just like ridiculous, like a total outlier, like
right.
send it.
And you see the most fortunate team this season was our regular season winner, Team Rusty Cunts, 2.55. So not quite as lucky as Ricky was unlucky, but still a lot more. It's not quite double. It's about 60%, 60 to 70% more lucky than the next closest. So Trevor ran the best this season, and Ricky ran by far the worst.
Yeah, and we were talking about it. We felt like Trevor wasn't doing like he was in. Trevor was in the streets, but yeah, like I don't know.
He was doing enough.
What?
I said he was doing enough, but it just
yeah, like he was doing enough, and he was more like fighting off the competition rather than like raising the bar.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so
I can agree with that.
That's what we got for that.
Might as well get into our 2 playoff matchups, yeah?
Yeah, get us into our first matchup. Who you got?
All right, mine's still loading up, but I think that first we ought to go over the 4 versus 5, the Evansdale Carpet Munchers versus 4 Down Territory.
Okay, and why do you choose that matchup?
That's the first one that's popping up for me.
I thought you said it was loading.
Yeah, it was loading, and then when I was mid-sentence, it popped up, so I just threw that in there.
Send it. I'm still waiting on mine.
Yeah, I clicked on the matchup. Mine's also loading up as well, but I think we got a pretty good matchup here. Really a tale of 2 opposites, I think, with these teams, because at the beginning of the season, Mike's team was very strong, and he was holding first place for quite some time. And then with Nick's team, not that he started off poorly, but his team really started to surge towards the top, towards like the mid to late part of the season. So honestly, you would say that Nick's team has the momentum coming in here. But this is a matchup that I could see really going either way. It just depends on whose team just generally performs better. I will say that I think Mike has a slightly safer floor, but it's hard to bet against Lamar Jackson and Michael Thomas.
You think Mike has a safer floor? Mine's still loading. What's Nick's lineup look like?
Nick's lineup is Lamar Jackson, Duke Johnson, Ronald Jones, Michael Thomas, Steph Diggs, Calvin Ridley, Jimmy Graham, Demaryius Thomas, Darius Slayton. And Mike's running Ryan Tannehill, Todd Gurley, Chris Carson, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, John Brown, Mark Andrews, Robbie Anderson, D.D. Westbrook.
What's the projections look like?
Mike is projected to win 127 to 115.
Cool. Next matchup?
Yeah, the way I see it, honestly, just to cap it out, is that Mike's running backs are way better. I'd say it's a wash for receivers, and then I would say tight end through both flex spots. Mike's got an advantage. So it's possible that Lamar Jackson, Mike Thomas, Steph Diggs, and Calvin Ridley could win this matchup alone for Nick, but he's going to need contributions from his other players. And Honestly, both of his flex spots and his running backs have a floor of 0. So, yeah. That's the way I see it. All right, and then the other matchup we got going this week is going to be the 3 seed versus the 6 seed, which is xnxx.com/Alexis Texas versus Team Butts. Right now, Team Butts is projected to win 147 to 141 after Michael Gallup scored 16 on Thursday. And honestly, I'm not too pleased that I get to face one of these two teams, which kind of sucks because I would much rather have the winner of Nick and Mike. But Trevor earned that distinction, finishing first overall, so he got the top seed. So fair play to him. I think that the winner of this is going to be very, very difficult for me to beat in the next round, regardless of who wins. But that's part about making it to the top, baby. You got to take down the best. And I think it's. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to play. If he doesn't, that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt Butts a bit. I know Darius Geis had a great week last week, and Rashad Penny has been strong towards the end of the season, so it's not like he has turds on his bench that he would slot in for him, but obviously neither of them are Josh Jacobs. I want to say I like Butts receivers more, but that's simply just because the Redskins, or Terry McLaurin specifically, his production's gone way down as the season's gone on. Mike Evans has just been so inconsistent. And DeAndre Hopkins has been good, but he hasn't been as dominant as maybe he usually has been in past seasons. Whereas, of course, Butts has Keenan Allen, who's just starting to get hot, always does towards the end of the season. DJ Moore has been far and away the best receiver on the Panthers, and Chris Godwin. If it's a game where Chris Godwin goes off and Mike Evans does nothing, this one's Butts all day.
Right.
That's going to be a big pivot in their matchup is Mike Evans versus Chris Godwin. And then you even got to love Manny Sanders in the flex. He's been great for the 49ers so far.
Who the 49ers play this week?
They've got the Saints.
That game at bet's going to be pretty low scoring is my guess.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And then with Rob, you got Russell Wilson, who's been, if it weren't for Lamar Jackson, would be far and away the best quarterback so far this season. Leonard Fournette, he's going to eat against the Chargers. Everybody knows that. Devonta Freeman, been disappointing this season, but it's probably on par with whoever Butts ends up with if Josh Jacobs doesn't play.
Josh Freeman back to full strength against a terrible Panthers run defense. Look out.
True. And then he's got Zach Ertz, who's going to eat, I think, against the Giants. And then the double Packers in the flex, Aaron Jones and Allen Lazard, could turn out great for him, could turn out poorly. It just depends on how the game goes, I suppose, for Green Bay. But this one's definitely one that can go either way. If I had to pick, would not be happy about facing him in the semifinals. But I think Butts, being the highest scoring team all season, is probably just going to be too much.
Yeah, I think this could be the what should have been the championship game is probably the two best rosters. Sorry, Wiseman. I think this is probably the two best rosters. Yeah, I think you have to credit to Butts, while Rob's team definitely has a lot of potential. And yeah, Chris Godwin, oh my God.
Yeah, Butts' team is nasty, and if he wins, I could definitely see him beating me in the next round. But
who has Doyle? Who has Jeff Doyle?
Damien.
Oh,
yeah. Not quite relevant, I'm afraid.
Rob's got to win at positions like tight end this week, like Zach Ertz versus Jared Cook. Like Jared Cook is not San Francisco's defense better do what they do and hold Jared Cook, and then Rob can get a big play on tight end, grab it. He's got to sneak in jabs like that, like Colts defense, like help a brother out. Like against Jameis Winston, big leverage play there. Like Jameis Winston turns the ball over more than any quarterback. So Rob's got to win where it counts this week. Tight end, defense, maybe his flex plays, and then if all the studs do their work and Rob sneaks those wins in there, that's the only way.
Yeah, basically, if you're Rob, you're just hoping that your team performs well enough. And honestly, like at this point, if you're Rob, you're just hoping that Butt's team underperforms, because if Butt's team performs the way they have all season, he's going to crush you. He's going to score 190 points. So you just have to hope that Butt's team has an off week. It's really your only hope.
I'm sniffing a shootout. ESPN gives them a high projection. So, yeah. But so you pick Butts. Okay. Give me.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Give me Rob.
They were projected neck and neck even before Michael Gallup 16.
16 is a respectable score for Michael Gallup, but I got Rob this week.
I would rather face Rob, so I hope you're right. Which, I mean, is not saying much because they both have great teams, but...
Scoffs. Yeah, I scoffed. So, Kyle Butts, you were projected to be our best team, what should have been. I was saying it all year, like, dude, Butts' team is scary. You get caught in the wrong week this week, Butts. Yeah, Rob is definitely going to beat Butts this week, no doubt in my mind. I wish I was like Stephen A. Smith and I could do something stupid, but sorry, Butts, you lost. All right, what's our next matchup?
That's it. That's the only two this week.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys have buys, you and Trevor. B-League. We haven't shown much of the B-League yet. So if you want to pop that on the screen share, I'd have to do that, don't I?
Yeah. We can do.
Let's do it. One moment. B-League. I'm so faded. Dude, I'm so faded.
All right, Tyga, get it on the screen.
What?
I called you Tyga because you made that song Faded.
Dude, I am so faded, bro. It's crazy. I can't even do it, dude. My computer's loading so slow. It was working like a charm before.
Now you're all big on the screen, so everyone can see your face while you try to figure that out.
Oh my god. Well, anyways, bro, it was crazy. Andy, fuck the B-League, dude. I'll make a fucking B-League video next week, dude. Dude, we gotta do a mashup video. I can't do this anymore, Wiseman. I can't do it.
All right, well, tell the folks what you need to say, and then we'll end it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on behalf of Jad and I, it's been a great season. We're very happy overall with the competitiveness of the league. I think that some people drop the ball in certain situations by not being responsible owners and picking up players that they need for their lineup, which results in different matchups going one way or the other has a lot of implications throughout the year. So we always want people to be active. Having lots of trades is nice, and making sure everyone's diligent on the waiver wire is great. And any changes we need to make going forward. Group members, if you're watching this video, just text in the group chat, give us some ideas. That way we know what to propose or to add or take away next season. And then obviously, we'll have a formal vote on that. But both B-League and A-League, honestly, just if you want to give us some suggestions, we appreciate that. We want to make the league the best that we can. And good luck to everyone in the playoffs, both A-League and B-League. Hopefully it's an exciting postseason for fantasy.
Shout out your boy. It's me. Gang.
Are you done?
Yeah, dude, I'm going to bed.
All right. Good night.